Welcome to A Moment of Zen. Time to sit back and relax as model, actress, mentor, and supermom Zen Sams takes you on a sexy and wild ride, covering the latest in film, fashion, pop culture, cryptocurrency, fintech, cannabis, and entertainment from the Millennial Mom's perspective. Here's your host, Zen Sams.
Hello, my beautiful tri-state area. Welcome to our 111th episode, 2.5 years on the air and going strong. It's always such a pleasure to spend my time with you on the airwaves. Thank you for listening and interacting with me on social media. That truly makes it all worthwhile. Please make sure to follow me at Zen Sams. That's Zen with an X, not a Z. And also remember that we're now live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. And of course, all episodes of A Moment of Zen are now available streaming 24/7 on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV platform. You can also find us on our YouTube channel at Zen Sams. We have such a great show lined up for you today. In our disability awareness segment brought to you by ogpay.com, we're featuring influencer, advocate, and supermama Noelle Pacl. She is a Sanfilippo Syndrome advocate and mama to warrior Logan, who has Sanfilippo Syndrome. Today, we're chatting disability awareness, demystifying the stigmas around the syndrome, and how you can help. In our Millennial Mom segment brought to you by Dominari Financial, we're featuring the podcast winners of Acton Academy, Vahaba, Jattia, Gaggl, and Zoe Aberti, alongside Acton Bergen co-founder Micha Leshem. So what makes this academy located in Bergen County so unique? Well, let us find out from the Acton crew themselves coming up in just a bit. In our entertainment and pop culture segment brought to you by Navé Travel, today we're featuring the awesome Benjamin Pajak and mom Karen Pajak. They are coming live in studio. Benjamin is coming off of his special 2-week run at New York City Center, playing Lionel Bart's Oliver at Encore's 2023. Benjamin also made his Broadway debut this February in The Music Man on Broadway, starring Hugh, Jackman, and Sutton Foster. They're going to be live in studio right here at headquarters, chatting career, life goals, and how he landed the role of Oliver. In our influencer segment brought to you by Caldwell Soames, today we're featuring Jada Wooten, a Georgia native, athlete, and influencer extraordinaire. Jada is a professional cheerleader competing for over 14 years, and more notably, she was featured in season 2 of Netflix's Cheer. Today, we're chatting cheerleading and what her latest aspirations are focused on. Stay tuned for our disability awareness segment brought to you by ogpay.com, featuring influencer, advocate, and supermama Noelle Pacl, Sanfilippo Syndrome warrior Logan. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OGPay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OGPay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out ogpay.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Welcoming back in our disability awareness segment brought to you by ogpay.com, we're featuring another incredible mama. Today, we're featuring influencer, advocate, supermama Noelle Pacl. Sanfilippo Syndrome warrior Logan is her baby boy. Today we're chatting disability awareness, demystifying stigmas surrounding Sanfilippo Syndrome, also called mucopolysaccharidosis, MPS type 3, a genetically inherited metabolic disorder that causes nervous system issues and other symptoms in children. Now, this syndrome is also sometimes referred to as childhood Alzheimer's because it ultimately causes a loss of physical and mental development over time. Researchers estimate fewer than 5,000 people in the United States currently have Sanfilippo syndrome, but the numbers, of course, are fluctuating. There is no cure yet. Doctors and researchers are working hard to find better treatments for it. A family history increases the risk, which affects about 1 in 70,000 births. Kids who have the condition are born with it, but most won't have symptoms until the preschool years when they're between 2 and 6 years old. Then they start to show developmental delays and behavioral issues. There are 4 types of Sanfilippo syndrome: A, B, C, and D. Type A being the most common and most severe. Sanfilippo affects life expectancy. Most children reach only their teenage years, but some can live longer. Welcoming now to the show is the amazing Noelle Pacl. Welcome, Supermama.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. You are a trailblazer and a warrior yourself. And I wanted just to extend a congratulations to the way that you manage and balance it all.
Thank you.
Now, were you aware of Logan's Sanfilippo syndrome throughout your pregnancy? And if not, when did you and Logan receive a formal diagnosis?
So I had absolutely no idea what Sanfilippo syndrome was until the day Logan was diagnosed. And he received his diagnosis at 2 years old. And that's actually considered really lucky and an early diagnosis.
Now, we know that it often takes years to receive a correct diagnosis, to your point, due to its rarity and lack of physician awareness. And of course, child symptoms are often classified as developmental delay and or autism until a thorough medical workup is done to identify the underlying cause. And we do have to look that now in most of the world, type A is the most common subtype, making up more than half of the cases. Of course, we know that type B and C are less common, and type D is the rarest. What type does Logan have? What were some of his symptoms, and when did they start?
So Logan has type A, like you said, most common and considered to be most severe. His symptoms started probably around 1 year old. He had some gut issues. He had respiratory issues, just constant ear infections and sinus infections. And then as he started getting, around 1.5, we noticed that cognitively he started falling behind his twin brother. And that's when we kind of put everything together. And we were like, okay, this is a full body problem. We need to see geneticists.
It's really so unfortunate because this, type A, and I know through proper research, is a rapidly progressing form with, of course, earlier loss of abilities such as talking and walking, and an earlier age of, unfortunately, death. Type B, of course, may progress somewhat less rapidly on average. And we know statistically that type C and D have more variable progression rates. But of course, most persons tend to retain skills longer than A and B. So it's quite devastating at how fast this progresses. Physical characteristics, nervous system symptoms, gastrointestinal symptoms, and of course, musculoskeletal symptoms. And then to your point, ear, nose, and throat, your expenses must be through the roof. All while, of course, fundraising to find the cure as fast as you can. What is your biggest stress at the moment?
Well, we're actually really fortunate. We have very good insurance through the military. It's kind of one of the main reasons my husband decided to go into the military was for better healthcare coverage. Right now, one of the main stressors for me, though, is just kind of we're entering kind of a new stage of the disease, and I'm starting to see Logan decline a little bit with certain things, for example, swallowing. So just kind of trying to figure out what's going on is probably my biggest stressor right now.
How old is Logan right now?
Logan is going to actually be 16 on May 25th.
So he's progressing and doing remarkably well. And to your point, you're fortunate. What is the long-term prognosis for him?
So it's kind of, for Logan, it's kind of up in the air. Now, obviously, we do know that this disease is terminal. So we kind of know, what the end is. But Logan also had an experimental stem cell transplant when he was 3 years old. So we aren't really sure what that's going to look like for Logan because they don't have enough studies or data, showing how kids are going to do as they get older with this, because not a lot of kids have had this done.
Right. I mean, ultimately, this could be Logan's saving grace, this stem cell, right?
For sure. And we can't prove that he's doing so well because of it. But we really do think that it plays a major role in like the great quality of life that he has had so far.
And he has a great quality of life. I mean, if you I follow you on social media because I truly find so much, I draw strength and inspiration from your page as a mom, but I see the amount of love and commitment that Logan has that surrounds him in your home. You and your husband are constantly working with him, constantly creating memories. Your home is set up almost, child proof at this point to make sure that he doesn't get hurt. And I see the smile that he exudes even just watching him, and I could see that he's happy. And that is kind of interesting because most people would say, are the children suffering? Now, you deal with a lot of nasty comments on social media from people who are just ignorant and uneducated and lack empathy. What stigmas do you wish to demystify when it comes to Sanfilippo syndrome?
Actually, just in general, not just Sanfilippo syndrome, I wish that people would just not have these knee-jerk reactions and immediately judge when they see something that seems odd to them or different to them. Stop and use your brain and really think, oh, maybe there is something else going on, and maybe I should actually look further into it and educate myself. That's the main thing. Just because something is different doesn't mean that it's bad.
Very well said. You're 100% right. And especially in this particular, there's a lot of disabilities out there, and we advocate for disability awareness. But in this particular case, they say imagine Alzheimer's and dementia, but in a child. And so, in a nutshell, that's what every family of children with Sanfilippo syndrome faces. It's an autosomal recessive disorder. And this means that it could be genetically passed from parents to children during conception. If both genetic parents of a child are carriers of the syndrome, with each pregnancy, they have a 25% chance of having a child with Sanfilippo syndrome develops, and a 50% chance of having a child who is not affected but is a carrier, and then a 25% chance of having a child who is neither affected nor a carrier. Did you and your husband research to see how this came about and if you were both carriers?
Yes, after the fact, of course, because we had absolutely no idea we were carriers, which is actually really common. Most families have no idea, and it's very difficult to get genetic testing done beforehand. We looked into our family history after Logan was diagnosed. There is no family history of Sanfilippo syndrome. Of course, our family we obviously have carriers within our family because they had to pass it down to us. But we did make sure to get our other children tested as well, just so they can make a responsible decision. And we have all three. We have a child with Sanfilippo. We have a child who did not get any of our genes passed on. And then we have a child who is a carrier.
It's interesting. It's all about DNA and DNA mutations, but the fact that you are educating yourself and becoming so proactive and understanding the lineage is going to empower you to empower your children to be able to mitigate and be ahead of the curve should something happen in their own, conception down the road. So that's extremely well done that you're doing it. Now, you and your hubby are doing an amazing job at balancing it all, and often you are alone in caregiving as your husband is out serving our country. How do you find the strength and balance?
Well, again, I'm really fortunate because the Navy does provide us with 40 hours a month of respite care. So I have an amazing respite provider who also happens to be one of my best friends. So so I am able to get out of the house and do things to kind of clear my head and just have, do some self-care, and also spend time with my other two children as well. And I also have a great support system here. I've lived here for 10 years, so I've got some great friends that are always here for me. So
Where is here?
I am in Washington State.
Nice. Okay. Well, you definitely have a nice ecosystem surrounding you. How are your other children adjusting to Logan?
Oh man, they're doing great. And the thing is, they have grown up with this. So, like I said, Logan was diagnosed at such an early age, and we have been talking about it since he was diagnosed. So, it's something that's kind of just the norm for them. And we've always been really honest and open. And really, when we explain things, we're very logical. We want them to know the reality. We want them to understand. So, I think that they are doing very well.
I think so too. And I think you're at the heart of it all, Mama. Is Logan aware of his condition? Do you think he's suffering? And what advice do you have to families receiving a Sanfilippo diagnosis?
I do not think that Logan is aware of his condition. I early on it was difficult because when he started losing skills such as speech, he was very frustrated because he didn't understand what was going on. And one day he could speak and express himself, and then a month later it started to go. So that was really hard for him. I do not think Logan is suffering. We are able to, anticipate all of his needs. We're able to watch him and know what to look for so that we can help him before something gets out of control. He's actually he's very happy, and he just lives in the moment. So I think he's doing all right. For parents who are families who are newly diagnosed, I would recommend first thing you do is go educate yourself. Learn as much as you can. The Cure Sanfilippo Foundation website is a great place to go. They have a ton of resources. And also find a really good support group because you are going to need it, and let people help you. That was the hardest thing for me, was opening up and letting people help us. But you've got to, because you can't do this alone.
It takes a village. Well, we are out of time, and you are doing amazing, amazing. That's why we're featuring you, because I, for one, can see your efforts, and I can see how much you support, uphold emotionally, mentally, physically. So from one mom to the other, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Guys, you definitely have to check out Noelle. Head directly to check her page out on the gram. Logan and Noelle are amazing at love_Logan07. That was our disability awareness segment brought to you by ogpay.com. Noelle Pacl, Sanfilippo Syndrome warrior and advocate. Now listen, guys, today there is no FDA approved treatment or cure for Sanfilippo syndrome. Clinical trials for treatments such as enzyme replacement therapy and gene therapy are helping, and other treatment strategies are in preclinical research and definitely require funding. Funding requires your donations. Definitely go to curesanfilippofoundation.org to make all the difference you can today, because time is of the essence. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV.
Hi, this is Kathy Ireland here on A Moment of Zen, brought to you by Your Home TV. We've developed an all-inclusive subscription-free network that you're going to love, whether it's financial freedom, fashion, beauty, health and wellness, wonderful weddings, travel and culture, cooking, entertainment, and short-form documentaries, programming for everyone. Classic films and new shows, including Kathy Ireland Presents American Dreams. We've developed this network just for you. Please check out yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Today, in our Millennial Mom segment, brought to you by Dominari Financial, we're featuring the podcast winners of Acton Academy, Mia Vahaba, Jattia Gaggl, and Zoe Aberti, alongside Acton Bergen co-founder Micha Leshem. Now, in the early 2000s, a Texan couple were looking to find an educational option for their children that would prepare them well for the future. Unsatisfied with outdated traditional school options and unable to find what they were really looking for, Laura and Jeff created a school of their own, one that would truly prepare young learners for the future ahead. And in 2010, Jeff and Laura Sandifer launched the flagship Acton Academy in Austin, Texas. And as of 2021, the Acton Academy network has grown to nearly 200 affiliated academies located across 30 states in the United States, in 20 countries worldwide. So, what makes this academy so unique? Well, let us find out from the Acton crew of Bergen County themselves. Welcoming now to the show is lead guide of Journey Studio, Micha Leshem, and the winners of the podcast competition, Jattia, Zoe, and Mia. Welcome to the show, my friends.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. So, Michal, I'm going to start with you. You call yourself a modern educator with an extensive background in science and cyber technology. After working for more than 15 years in cyber intelligence, you pursued your lifelong dream of becoming an educator and obtained a master's degree in education in parallel to co-founding Israel's National Cyber Education Center. So, what makes Acton so unique, and what age ranges do you accept?
So I want to start by saying that, as you mentioned, Acton Academy is a network with over 200 schools worldwide. We're affiliated with the network, but everything I'm going to share today is our experience. I'm not speaking on behalf of the network. Our Acton is called ABC. We opened it 4 years ago. And what makes ABC so unique is our fundamental belief that each child who enters our door is a genius who deserves to find a calling and change the world. And by genius, I don't mean 180 IQ, I mean a unique talent in something. We accept learners from ages 5 to 14, and next year will be our first year where we open our Launchpad, which is our high school for ages 15 to 18.
This is beautiful. I love the entire curriculum. And I'm going to say that I came to the school for one of the visits and I spoke to the students and I was very impressed. So this is mother approved, coming directly from somebody that got to meet each and every one of you. And you're all wonderful educators and, more importantly, beautiful souls. Welcome, winners. Pickles versus corn.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
I'm so excited to have you on here. So I'm going to start off by saying that the information and structure was so clear. And through the commentary of your podcast, I learned a lot of facts. Very, very well done. Your facts were delivered in a fun and engaging way with one of your personalities always shining through. Every time one of you spoke, I got to understand a little bit better of who you were, which is great. The production quality was good and unique, and the host did a great job at setting the tone at the beginning. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start with Jattia. Okay, what inspired you to participate in the podcast competition?
Well, I think it was mostly my friends. They encouraged me, and I don't win many things. So at first I wasn't going to do it, but thanks to my friends, they encouraged me to go. And I actually had my own podcast with Zoe, and we won third place.
Congratulations. I judged it. You did a great job. Okay, Zoe, what is your dream, and what program at Acton do you love the most?
I think my dream is becoming an actress because that's where I actually get to say my own voice and do my own thing, not just look at a script and let somebody else choose it. Just for example, Jattia.
I love that. Mia, what do you love the most about your school, and why did you choose to host Pickle versus Corn?
I'm going to start with why I chose to be in this school. I feel like I chose it because your voice matters more than any other school. If something seems unfair to you or something doesn't feel right to you, your voice will matter, and you can decide. If something isn't good for you, then you can always tell someone, and then and we also have town hall where you can make rules like the kids. And I feel like it's very learner driven, which is why I chose it. And I just feel like it's different than public schools in so many better ways. And the pickle vs corn question, I feel like I chose that one because pickles, they're so yummy and delicious and they can be put on so many things, but corn has fame. And I just felt like it would be a really good debate that half people would say corn, half people would say pickle. So I thought it would be a very good debate topic.
I love it. It's you either like salty or sweet, and you hit the spot right there. So you did a great job. Now, the Acton mindset is one of open-mindedness, fearlessness, and the ability to own failures and celebrate successes, which is what I love. And being part of the Acton community means committing to a growth mindset, one that cherishes mistakes as learning opportunities. And it also means embracing being part of your community. Michal, what is a micro school and how are you different than a Montessori school?
So our school is divided into 4 studios: Sparks for ages 5 to 7, Discovery for ages 8 to 11, Journey, which is our middle school, and Launchpad, which is our high school. And all studios are multi-aged. We have about 67 learners altogether, and we call the micro school because we cover all age ranges with this capacity. In ABC, we're not focusing on learning how to know. Our method is about learning to learn, which is all the routines and recipes we go through to become a self-directed learner, like setting SMART goals, like giving critique, like reflecting on your work. The second thing is learning to do, which are hands-on projects focused on real-life challenges that require courage. And the last thing is learning to be, the soft skills like leadership, curiosity, gratitude, and much more, which are all about who you're going to become. Our educational philosophy is that clear thinking leads to good decisions leads to the right habits for its character, and character determines destiny.
Wow, I love it. That was the perfect infomercial, by the way. And you sold me as a parent, thinking twice about where my daughter goes to school. But no, I love what you're offering. And more importantly, I love the community. Of course, we know at this point right now, everything we've heard, Acton offers an innovative learning environment with, of course, like you said, the mixed age learning studios versus grades, which is quite unique, and studio level exhibitions where learners can actually exhibit their portfolio of work, which I thought was quite interesting. And of course, more importantly, the opportunity for learners to form authentic friendships and to resolve the interpersonal issues through the development of conflict resolution skills, which typically you don't find in public schools. You get sent to the principal's office, you get a detention, and you call it a day. So I love that. Zoe, do you like being surrounded by both much younger and older friends in a class?
I kind of do because I'm like right in the middle because my friend group, Ruby, Nina, like all those people, like some of them are older, like Arte and Ruby, they always get like the older people, but Shelly and Nina are always the younger people, and I think I'm just like right in the middle, so I think it's perfect to be with older people and younger people.
Yeah, you definitely shine in that role because you have a younger sister and a younger brother, and they always look up to you. But you blend so well with all age ranges that it's interesting to see that that is actually propelling you. That I think that you have the ability to be somebody else's role model, which I know you take very seriously. So you're doing a great job, and Akin is doing amazing things for you. Mia, your school has a no homework policy. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's very good. A lot of my friends in the public school are always telling me, Mia, public school teaches you much better because they have homework and you like learn more. But that's actually not true. Like, I did an essay about it in my old school, and I asked everyone in my class, hey, if you would you work at home even if you had homework after? Everybody said no, but but then when I moved here, I asked everybody, and everybody works here, even though they don't have to. It's optional. They're not forced to, but they still do it because they want to move on. And I feel like that's a very important thing to learn that the public school can't really offer. And homework gives you a lot of stress, but like when you choose to do it, you know when your limits like to learn are done and you're just stressing. So I feel like that's really good to.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice balance. You don't get overwhelmed, and it's effective because it's working, and it's been working for quite some time throughout many different Acton academies. Now, Jattia, you spend a significant amount of the day outdoors in nature with your friends, field trips that extend learning beyond the studio walls. Mindfulness, of course, we know is an integral part of the curriculum, but also in general with daily meditation and very different from a traditional school model. How does this help you?
It helps me a lot because, for example, meditation, we get to read a book or just sit in our seats, for example. I think it calms a lot of people down before we get to work on our next thing. And being outside, I think it helps a lot of people. It's really fun to just play outside or talk with your friends, and I think it brings more people together. Mia, we actually met on a field trip and became best friends there. It was on a farm, And I think that field trips, we get to go on a bus, we get to go fun places. I think it brings people together, and it's just part of the fun.
So well said, my darling. That was very, very, very well thought out. I love your answer. Michal, Acton provides a learner-driven community with self-paced learning in reading, writing, and math designed to foster excellence and mastery, really real-world, really hands-on learning through the field trips that we just heard about, hero visits, and projects designed to develop relevant skills for the 21st century. And of course, this no assigned homework is quite interesting. Teaching to the test or final exams, none of that. So my question is, are you accredited, and how do you assess and monitor learning progress?
So first, yes, we are accredited. I think the question about monitoring and assessment is really interesting. In the Spark Studio group, this is mostly Montessori work, focused on reading, writing, and math, and just a lot of free play. This is what they do most of the day. They just play. The elementary studio is about doing real work of running the studio and playing hard games. And in the middle school, they start to do apprenticeship and interact with the real world. The system is set up for us to step back, let them have the experience, fail often and frequently as possible, and learn from those to become stronger and more resilient. We use 3 tools of assessment in our studio. The first one is points, to measure how much effort you put into your work. So for example, by tracking your time on different online platforms. The second tool we use is badges and public exhibitions to measure attainment and mastery. And the third tool we use is 360-degree feedback, where the learner gives each other warm and cool feedback to measure community participation and contribution.
I love it. This is quite phenomenal that this program exists right under our nose, right here in Bergen County, and we don't even know about it. So now I'm happy that I can be your voice and offer this to as many people listening that fits, their lifestyle, because this is quite unique. Thank you so much for coming on. Girls, you did an amazing job. Michal, thank you so much. You have an incredible gold mine in your hands in many ways. It's really quite refreshing to see a different approach to education.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, it was
Thank
really
you so
fun.
much for having us.
Absolutely. Guys, listen, you can provide support with a direct donation. AABC is a nonprofit organization, and they really strive hard to keep tuition affordable so that families from various financial backgrounds can consider them as a viable educational option. In fact, they're significantly more affordable than most private schools in New York and in New Jersey. And when you provide a donation to AABC, it helps to support learners who need financial-based scholarships, and of course, to provide the current enrollees with additional tools, resources, and of course, enrichment opportunities. That was our Millennial Mom segment, brought to you by Dominari Financial. A big thanks to Jattia, Zoe, and Mia, and of course, to Micha Leshem, co-founder of Acton Academy, Bergen County. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. Head to actonbergen.org. actonbergen.org. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Navé, a members-only travel portal exclusively available through Organo, offering members steep discounts on nightly or weekly hotel stays, cruises, auto rentals, excursions, and so much more. With its travel getaway portal, Navé makes the days of surfing multiple travel sites and spending hours evaluating the best deals done with. That's because with Navé, you are guaranteed the best prices. Plus, to gain access to an even more expansive collection of condos, hotels, cruises, vacation villas, fantasy getaways, and concierge service, there's Forever Weeks. Simply purchase a Navé Forever Weeks package one time and enjoy the benefits many times. With Forever Weeks, forever means forever. Not only does Navé guarantee you the best prices, but it is also one of the few travel portals that pays a referral bonus, in addition to you earning rewards points, which can be redeemed on the Travel Getaway portal for further discounted hotel room rates. Become a member today and navigate the world of travel. Navé, the world for you to experience. For more information, go to nave.travel. That's Navé, Nave.travel.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up in just a few minutes in our entertainment and pop culture segment brought to you by Navé Travel. Today we're featuring Benjamin Pajak, live in studio coming off of his special 2-week run at New York City City Center, playing Lionel Bart's Oliver at Encore's 2023. The cast also featured veteran performers Raul Esperanza, Lily Cooper, Tam Mutu, Mary Testa, and Brad Oscar. From a very early age, Benjamin and his mom, Karen, attended professional productions throughout the New York City area. Benjamin says that he would look forward to each new concert and from a very young age appreciated all the aspects of performing. Benjamin made his Broadway debut this February in The Music Man on Broadway, starring Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster. Now, let's face it, most of your favorite actors and models have famous parents. However, some so-called Nepo babies bristle at the idea that family connections have eased their path to stardom. This is definitely not the case with Benjamin, famous for all the right reasons: humbleness, family-focused, and one talented kiddo. Welcoming now to the show is the amazing Benjamin Pajak and mom, Karen. Welcome, my friends.
Hi, it's so good to be here.
So good to have you on. We're going to get to your mom in just a sec. Tell me, where are you from?
I originally grew up in Union County, New Jersey. It's quite a difference from New York, the big city, and there's so many differences, but I love New York now, and I'm so happy that I get to be here.
Well, we love that you're here at iHeart headquarters here in Midtown Manhattan. We're thrilled to have you. You made quite the splash when you entered. Everybody knew who you were, probably from your role on Music Man. You got a lot of followers here. How old were you when you got your first big break?
Oh wow. I might have gotten Music Man when I was 8. Yeah.
That's
that was
a long
crazy.
That's
yeah.
a long time.
Long time ago.
You've been at this for quite some time. Now, you just came off of a special 2-week run at City Center, NYC, playing Lionel Bart's Oliver at Encore's 2023. What was it like being the lead, and what was your favorite memory?
I mean, playing Oliver right now, especially at City Center, Oliver is just, he's such an amazing character, you know? He's full of love, compassion, and he wants to show the world that even though, in dark times there can be light, that there is that light at the tunnel, that there is that light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm so incredibly grateful that I get to play this role and show everyone my take on Oliver, and especially with just an amazing cast of people and an amazing director and choreographer. It's just an absolute pleasure.
You're an old soul. You're definitely an old soul, Benjamin. Now, what has been the most valuable experience for you to date along your career?
Wow. I don't know. I think it might have been the preparation going in. I think it's always the preparation going into shows, because you obviously get the auditions and things going into it, and that's such a big challenge for everyone. Even Hugh Jackman struggles with that, and he's like the biggest person in the world. I think that's been the biggest challenge for not just me, but for everyone in this business.
No, the preparation is absolutely key, and it's the foundation of everything, especially in theater. But you clearly love what you do, and there's a passion and a drive, because you would do this all day, every day, even if nobody paid you to do it.
I would.
So that's the good part. Now, do you go to school?
I do. I am homeschooled. That makes things so much easier. We used to have tutoring every day on site, because that's how it is for Broadway and shows with equity and professional. You have to bank your hours in with school, so that way you can actually act. But now, since we opened yesterday, it's going great. I do school whenever I can, so I can act.
Well, your school essentially is your script prep, and your controlling your body and your movements, and that in and of itself is extreme preparation and consistency, and almost feels like you are in your own form of schooling, which you are.
Yeah.
Now, has acting always been your dream?
I really wanted to be a football star for a while. I wanted to be just like Tom Brady. I was willing to take his place in the NFL in 2030 or something. I don't know. But I might become as a part-time job an NFL announcer or something because I love acting. It really is my passion, and I just have so much fun every night on that stage.
Well, Benjamin Pajak, you gave Tom Brady a run for his money. You are definitely doing great things, and this is just the beginning and the tip of the iceberg for you at 12 years old. Now, how many hours a week do you work with and or rehearse with your coaches?
Well, it that also depends on like if I have to do a self-tape or a voiceover. There's so many. I have such great teachers that believe in me, and I believe in them. And the work that we do together is so truthful to each character that we do. And I just love them so much. And probably the hours that I do with them a week, maybe, I don't know. I see them a lot, but I would say maybe hours I see them a week, maybe 2 or 3.
2 or 3, so you're seeing them every other day at least, which is a lot. Now, who is your inspiration?
Oh, there's so much inspiration out there. I mean, like, I just saw Sweeney Todd on Broadway. I mean, Josh Groban and Annalee Ashford were, fantastic. They were hilarious in that. Their inspiration in that. Raoul, Lily, Tam, Julian, everyone that I've worked with gives me so much. They give me so much stuff, to play with, and they give me so much stuff to play with on stage. And
so there's a lot of material that you could sink your teeth in there, and there's a lot of characters and a lot of different, cross collaborations with other actors that have been at this for quite some time that you could learn from. So that's incredible. Now, what would your dream role be?
Oh, I can answer this one. Well, right now, I want to play Gustav in Love Never Dies as the second part of Phantom of the Opera, because I really want that to come to Broadway.
That's a serious part.
That's fun, and also it's kind of like Oliver, except it's not really like Oliver, but it's head voice, and I'd like to show that off a little bit.
I love it. Now, do you know how many auditions you go on in a month?
Oh, in a month?
Is it like a few every week?
It's got to be. As of right now, maybe, maybe like 2 or 3 a week.
2 or 3 a week,
Yeah.
So you're at like 10, 15 auditions a month. You're booking a lot of work, my friend. What are you working on next?
What am I working on next? I don't know. I don't know, actually. Well, whatever comes my way.
I love it. Whatever
comes
you
my
get
way.
cast in. So we're going to put it out there in the universe.
Yeah.
You are going to book the next big role for your dream role, and maybe it'll be Phantom of the Opera.
Thank you.
All right. Well, it was such a pleasure chatting with you. What do you love the
Thank
most
you.
about performing in New York City?
Oh my God. I mean, New York City is so cool. It's such a fun place to be and act, and there's so much, like you said before, there really is so much inspiration in everything here, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Cool. All right, you ready to do some quick trivia?
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite color?
Oh God, my favorite color is red.
What's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is football.
What, do you have a lucky number?
I have 2, 12 and 24.
12 and 24. What's your favorite movie of all times that you've
Favorite
watched?
movie of all time? It'd probably be animated. Would probably be The Polar Express. Live action would probably be Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Wow.
Part 2.
I love it. I love it. And what's your astrological sign?
Oh God, I'm an Aries.
Oh, you're a fire sign. I love it. Well,
Yes.
we had so much fun today. Thank you so much for chatting with me and coming to headquarters.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Mama, let's hand off the microphone to Mom. All right. Karen Pajak, welcome to the show, Mama.
Hi, how are you? Nice to be here.
Your son is brilliant and talented. You should be so proud.
Thank you so much. He's pretty special.
He's pretty special. So let's get right into it here. Intellectual and physical characteristics of when we talk about young, gifted children that parents are likely to notice include unusually early and fluent speech, early mobility, early reading, unusually retentive memory, intense curiosity, unusually long attention span, eager desire to learn. Does this sound familiar, Benjamin? Unusually mature sense of humor, and and less need for sleep than age peers of average ability. Now, of course, not all. That's definitely you.
Definitely me.
Now, of course, Mom, not all gifted children display all these characteristics, but the possession of a cluster of these characteristics could suggest that your child may indeed be unusually bright. When did you realize that he was so talented and so gifted? And did he display any unusual characteristics for his age?
Oh my gosh, what a question. Honestly, my child has ADHD. I think he thinks really fast. I see that. He's just always been on to the next thing, and he really will focus on when he loves something. He will focus on that entirely. I think his ear when he was little, he just always had listened to music. He loved it, and right away he was really picking out pitches. He could hear whatever the pitch was. He could tell you what that was. So he has those senses, and I think he would use those abilities to really bring him forward. But he,
So we have definitely identified that Benjamin is gifted, for sure. We
well,
know.
I don't know if children are really. I used to believe in that. I don't know about that anymore. I think it's more of a passion, honestly.
Well, with the passion comes a great gift, and the talent that he has is definitely unusual, and not everybody has that. So he's definitely a standalone old soul. Now, how do you balance Benjamin's schedule and the rest of the family's?
I'm a single mom, and so I think that makes it a little bit easier. I see some of these moms and families in the business, and I don't know how they do it. It's really tough. It's all consuming being in this business.
And so does Benjamin have any siblings?
No, it's just us.
Oh, so it's easy. It's like
It's real easy.
The duo. It's Karen and
Yes.
Ben.
Yeah, it's
Now,
kind of cool.
you have taken him to tons of Broadway shows and cultural events throughout the city since he was a tiny little peanut, and it really contributed to his love and passion for the arts. What was your favorite show on Broadway that you could think of?
Just what's hitting me right now is the first show I saw was King and I. And I remember I get the chills thinking about it. I went to see it with my grandmother when I was 6, and everyone said, yeah, you can't take her. That's crazy. And I sat on my edge of my seat, and I don't think I moved. I can remember it. And I just think those experiences, from when you're real little, you just build on them and they grow. And I think they're so important.
It's amazing. Well, you're doing such a great job, Mom.
Oh,
It was a
thanks.
pleasure chatting with you. I love that you answered my questions. You are doing amazing things. I love that the two of you are like a little duo just on a journey. And this journey is so amazing. He's booking incredible roles and you're doing an incredible job. And this is all coming out of his natural ability to just radiate this incredible energy and aura. So of course he's booking roles galore, because even when he walked into the room here, everyone at iHeart knew him. So good job, Mom. You should be so proud.
I think it's just an amazing environment to be raising him in. So
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you could say one thing to Benjamin, what would you like Benjamin to know?
that I'm probably the proudest mom out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was so sweet. Guys, you're
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much for having us.
That was the incredible Benjamin and Karen Pajak. Now, guys, talented children are those whose abilities have already been translated into achievements and who are currently performing at a level that places them within the top 10% of their age peers. Gifts are natural abilities, whereas talents are systematically developed skills. Giftedness is not an automatic guarantee of success. A range of environmental variables affect talent development, such as parental encouragement, family relationships, the provision the schools that you send your kids to make or fail to make, and maybe you're going to think of homeschooling them next, but to develop his or her gifts into talent, that is the true calling, and all the in-betweens. Certainly, Ben is in the right hands and on the right path. That was our entertainment and pop culture segment brought to you by Navé Travel. That was the incredible Benjamin Pajak. Head to benjaminpajak.com or you can check him out on the gram at benjamin.pajak. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OG Pay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OG Pay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out ogpay.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our influencer segment brought to you by Caldwell Soames, today we're featuring Jada Wooten, a Georgia native, athlete, and influencer extraordinaire. Jada is a professional cheerleader competing for over 15 years, and more notably, she's been featured in season 2 of Netflix's Cheer. She won an NCAA collegiate level title and world's title. Those are both very impressive. Now, for those unfamiliar, on Netflix's original docuseries Season 2's Cheer, she portrayed the struggles of cheerleading and gained tons of recognition, belonging to the Trinity Valley Community College team. Jada, as the lead tumbler and flyer, was often pegged as the Michael Jordan of her team by the series director. Today, she's here chatting career, cheerleading, and what her latest aspirations are focused on. Now, whether it's a game of basketball or the school cross-country championships, competition is the activity of striving to win something by defeating or gaining supremacy over others. Competition is actually a social process. And at just 22 years old, Jada can surely talk to us about how competitive cheerleading has shaped her, changed her, and molded her. And if you think she lost any of that passion since the show ended, think again. Welcome now to the show is the amazing Jada Wooten.
Hello. So
Hello,
excited to be here.
Hello, Senator. I can't believe how young you are and how successful you have become at such a tender age, barely in your mid-20s.
Well, thank you. It's been a long process and it took a lot of struggles as well, but I'm happy and grateful for it.
Yeah, of course. What doesn't kill you will only make you stronger. And you've become very strong in the last year. Now, you were one of the most passionate people on the second season of Cheer. So much so, Jada, that some people even disliked you for it. You were quoted saying, "I'm so passionate and love cheerleading so much. It's literally as important as water and air to me." And then when people saw that passion on Cheer and then hated you for that, you were at a loss. What do you wish people knew?
It's kind of conflicting to say, but I don't blame them for it. I can understand. I have a strong personality, but also that there is more to me than just teeth. And that has come from years of doing this and my fallouts in cheerleading personally. But I'm actually a silly, goofy, and I love people. I really do. And I don't think people know that. I think they just look at me as intimidating and scary, but I want people to know that I'm far from that once getting to know me, but trying my best not to show as much teeth.
Oh, no, you are actually, I think you are so soft and tender-hearted and very sensitive. People probably don't even realize that. You remind me very often of my sister. You put on a very tough front and you are tough, but inside you're mush. Now,
yes.
Yeah. Now, one can argue that cheerleading must be, in one's blood. So it only makes sense that the cast of the show left their schools and went on to cheer at other schools if it meant lengthening their careers. And that's exactly what you seem to have done. You traded your black and white Trinity Valley Community College uniform for a different one and started cheering for Sam Houston State co-ed team at the time. Why the change of heart?
Well, going from a community college, which is Trinity Valley, same with Navarro, you are almost expected to go to a university to kind of continue your growth. It's a different dynamic for one, and two, you get something different out of it as far as new experiences, new coaches, and again, like new opportunities. Like if at Trinity Valley, yes, I was known as being a flyer, but I started learning to fly there rather than being technically a flyer. My stunt partner did get injured my last year, which is why I wasn't a flyer on mat, but going to Sam Houston, I filled into that flyer role, and that probably I wouldn't say wouldn't happen if I stayed at Trinity Valley, but my probability of doing a new position was higher going to a university. And also, when you go to a community college, normally those kids, some and adults, this is their first year in college. This is their first time even going to a collegiate level competition. So going to a university, they're more seasoned, and it's just another change. And it's typical people leave after 2 or 3 years being at a community college.
So it's interesting because college cheerleading recruiting is unlike any sport. I mean, while there are cheer programs at the NCAA Division One, Division Two, and Division Three levels, as well as NAIA and junior colleges, it isn't recognized as a sanctioned sport. Therefore, college coaches and student athletes can initiate the recruiting process at any point during high school. And that's why student athletes who are successful in their recruiting journey do the work needed to get on a coach's radar. They thoroughly research colleges, creating a recruiting video, attend camps and clinics, and attend cheerleading tryouts. It's very, very competitive. I don't know how you do it. Now, more importantly, what has cheerleading helped you discover about yourself?
That I have a drive, and as well as team people skills, if you will. I think working with a group of athletes who are all exceptional and all just as competitive, sometimes more, brings out that competitive side of you that for me came out as teeth. And it's quite something. I've done other sports and nothing is like cheerleading. I've also excelled in other sports and loved them, and I didn't find the same competitive drive in me that I did in cheerleading. I think that cheerleading brought out a
beast mode in you. It brought out
Yes.
beast mode in you, and
it
that
trickled into my everyday life as well.
And that passion was ignited, but never. That passion is why you are who you are today, and why you are where you are at today. Now, what does your weekly training routine look like?
So recently I have been working out every single day, lifting weights, and but that's a personal preference. It's not, okay, I won't say it's not typical, but I don't know many who do that kind of weight training, more so because they're not, they don't have the knowledge to. But when I'm home, it's more difficult for me to tumble and get with some partners and do pyramids and all of those things. I'm prepping for something right now. I'm going to be a contestant on a show that I'm training for strength-wise. And then when I'm there, it's going to be every day tumbling, stunting, doing routines, that kind of workout. So, and that's a vastly different one. Cheer shape is way different than just being in normal shape. So I'm trying to get my strength up home while for me to prepare to do
for this next chapter.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, are you currently at school? And if not, what are you studying, or how are you going about that?
I am not in school. I left Sam Houston, the university I transferred to after the first semester of last year, and I was studying marketing. I do plan to go back to school, possibly. It's just not on the top of my priority list, because if I wanted to anyways this year, I would have to be out for the first semester of the entire year, which is hard to do for somebody just jumping on a team, whether it's new or not. Teams go through 2 semesters of working together every single day or 3 times a week at minimum, and build a dynamic, build their chemistry with their teammates, and training and all of that. I'll be in shape to go back to school if I want to, but it's still a decision of where I want to go as well.
Of course, of course. And you have time. You're so young and so driven and so determined that I can't imagine you wouldn't excel at anything that you put your mind to it. School is definitely, I'm sure, your priority, but right now you got to focus on your passion. And if it means training for that next competition, then that's where you have to follow your heart for. Now, balancing it all, balancing cheer, having fun, family, making sure you're keeping beast mode in check over here. What do you do for fun that has nothing to do with training and cheer and schoolwork and commitments? What's your release?
Family cookouts is a big one. I also travel occasionally, whether it's for a friend's birthday or just to go. It's usually for birthdays, but I also love staying at home on the couch watching shows.
And well, listen, you have to find the balance. And if that's your balance, you do whatever you need to do to reset yourself.
For sure.
What is your lifelong dream?
To one, be close to my family. Family's huge to me. It's been my backbone my entire life. And then two, having the means to have the freedom to do whatever I want when I want, including taking care of all my animals and building them little things and being able to stay home every day and make sure that they're well taken care of and are happy.
All while, of course, cheering.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love being an athlete. I don't see that going away anytime soon. I have plans if I leave cheer as well. So
there you go. Well, I'm sure I see you opening up a big either gymnastics or big center that you can just coach and really guide other women and other girls really into the graces that you have had the opportunities to fall into.
Activism as well comes a part of that. That is something that's a little sensitive for me as far as how and where I'm going to be standing in that in my future. I love to speak out and stand up for what I believe in, what I think people deserve, whether they're athletes, women, people.
What do you stand for? Do you have an organization or a charity that you advocate for?
Not directly, no, but I have plans coming up, and they will they will come out soon enough.
Okay. So what current projects are you working on that you could share with us?
I already created a podcast, and I plan to use that to kind of give people that perspective of me that they don't have, or maybe do some to a certain degree. But I want to be open and honest about where I come from, why I do, and also the things that are typically ignored, whether it's in sports or not, that athletes and women deal with constantly. But that's one of my own little personal projects. I have another big project coming out that is it's a bit bigger, if you will.
Now, what's the show name? Can you tell us the name of the show that you're going to be on?
American Cheer Icon.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, we're definitely going to look out for that. We are out of time, but it was such a pleasure chatting with you, Jada. You are amazing. You've come such a long way. It's inspirational, and I'm sure a lot of girls are looking up to you right now.
Thank you. I had such a good time talking to you too. It's been too long, and I appreciate you guys bringing me on again.
Yeah, you got it. We're big fans. Guys, you definitely have to check out Jada Wooten on the gram at @JadaWooten_. Now, listen, it's also important to note each college comes with its own set of qualifications. To have a shot at making the team, recruits need to focus on the programs where their tumbling, stunts, and jumps align with the team's skill set. Beyond athletics, college cheerleading coaches consider academics and seek out recruits with a strong academic background. In fact, some cheerleading scholarships are awarded to the cheerleader on the team with the highest GPA. Cheerleading is, in fact, a sport, but it's not currently recognized by the NCAA as a sanctioned sport. And for this reason, there is less funding available to coaches for college cheer scholarships. That was our influencer segment brought to you by Caldwell Soames. That was the amazing Jada Wooten, Georgia native, athlete, influencer, and cheerleader extraordinaire. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Animoca Brands. As a worldwide industry leader in digital entertainment, blockchain, and digital property rights, Animoca Brands plays a key role in the future growth of the open metaverse. During unstable times like these in burgeoning industries similar to blockchain, it's important to realize that blockchain can and will survive and eventually flourish, and industry-leading companies like Animoca Brands will guide the transformation into the future. Animoca Brands will keep building a better and fairer Web3 ecosystem, create impact for better, and bring true digital property rights to all internet users through NFTs and the open metaverse. For more information and to become part of the excitement, go to animocabrands.com. That's animocabrands.com.
Well, that's a wrap, my dear friends. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, every Saturday night from 9 to 10 p.m. Or you could head to 710WOR.iHeart.com/A Moment of Zen. Also, remember that we're now live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, YouTube Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And of course, all episodes of A Moment of Zen are now available on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV streaming platform. You could head directly to our channel at mox.yourhometv.com. Thank you for listening to A Moment of Zen. It's been an absolute pleasure being your host. Thanks again to all of our sponsors that continue to make this show possible. And remember that happiness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it.